thought about doing a video. Realized Alive's a better thing. It's just going to get, I'm going to be able to get it out in the right way, I guess. This is what I'm saying is. So that way, if people don't understand me, don't assume you might. Because I say things in a way that I select the words very, very focused on actual intent. And sometimes my intent gets lost in translation. And I don't want that to happen here. Just waiting for whoever decides to join me. Until then, I guess, caveats. I am just one autistic person who found out less than 2 years ago. I can't even believe it's been less than 2 years. And I'm still figuring myself out. I wanted to talk today about my mental health and how my autism is associated with the assumptions that are made about me. Because I think that's a good idea. Because I obviously have been through intense trauma. And I came out on the other side able to just love people. Just for being exactly who they are. And people don't know how I did it. How I can still be so open and so loving and so willing to put myself out there for just everybody, anybody, but for everybody. And it's about time people understood why. Part of it is my autism. I genuinely care about other people and their stories. And that's a sign of Williams syndrome, which I'm pretty sure I have. Hello, first person to join me. I wanted to talk about my high masking autism today and how it affects my mental health. Oh, I should make sure that everybody can talk. I apologize. Reconnecting, sorry. I want to make sure everybody can talk. Here it is. Yeah, all messages. I like to hear what everybody's saying. So, please, I was just sort of giving caveats, but I wanted to make a video about my high masking autism. But first, I have to fix my glasses. There we go. I fell asleep on them yesterday, so, okay. I'm going to be shaky because this gives me anxiety, but I'm not anxious. Please tell me I'm okay. I think it's a goal going out to everybody correctly. But I wasn't diagnosed until I was 42 was when I got the official diagnosis. I'm 43 right now. And I often hear, oh, you couldn't be autistic. Because I learned to mask. And I learned to mask in a way that a lot of us girls learn to mask. We like flowy things. We like feeling pretty and demure sometimes, and we put on veils. in little veils until we start stacking those veils into beautiful colored gypsy scarves. Oh my God, I forgot. Sorry. My mother came in. I didn't know until, here's an example. I didn't know that was an inappropriate word until I was an adult, because nobody told me, because, hi, most Scotty. I didn't know that was a bad word. I love the whole concept of the Romani people, and I never would have, but that's what she called those scarves, you know? I have some old fairy stories on my shelf from when I was a child, and looking back through them and realizing the fun songs that my mom would teach us, you know, those fun little, she'll be coming around the mountain songs. It made me sound. Those were some hurtful words, and I had no idea, and I was a child singing these songs joyfully down the street, not knowing. I had an aunt who was a great aunt, and she was an amazing woman. Olga. She taught me how to knit backwards, apparently, and now I can't learn to knit, but I can crochet. My great uncle. He died of cirrhosis. Hello. So, anyhow, we start with veils, and then we go to brightly colored scarves, and then the next thing we know, we are hiding all of who we are behind thin little veils that don't change our face. They just sort of blur it out. You're still you, but you're less aspects of you. And we call it high masking. But pretty soon we can't even see who we are. And we realize we don't know who we are at all. And autism makes that very hard sometimes. Because you realize when you start taking them off, fewer and fewer people like you. The real you. The one who wants to info dump. And It's hard. So, I know he's just on it about the cat today. So, so one of the things that I deal with as a late diagnosis person with ASD is that people saw me totally, completely opposite of what my actual intention was. I now realize what people thought I was an asshole or a bitch or a narcissist, which is like, holy shit, I get it now. But no, I was taking things literally. I was hearing the exact words you said. Like Tiffany. I love you, Tiffany. I'm so glad you're in my life again. We realized that when she was coming up to me and saying, hey, me and my cousins, one of whom I had quite a huge crush on, me and my cousins are going out to the lake on the like a mini boat. Okay, have fun. And then I felt left out. I didn't realize that also meant, would you like to come along?
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Not you.
Oh, he's downstairs.
You didn't stop up the pee, huh?
What pee?
You said he peed.
Oh yeah, I need to get I'm doing the shampooer today. Yeah, sorry, I'm just doing a live about my high masking autism.
What?
I'm doing a live about my high masking autism.
Well, I was doing a meeting that pays for this gorgeous castle here, so.
I know.
And he's just barking away.
He's not. I can't get him to stop. If he's on he has a thing about the cat today. Yes.
Come on up here. Hey, go in there. Hey. Pay attention.
So. I always felt left out. I thought she was rubbing it in my face sometimes, actually. When she would start to get like frustrated with me because I never wanted to come along. It was because we were speaking two different languages. I was waiting for the invitation, and she thought she had given me one, and that I had received it. She certainly nailed it. But she was sending an Anna, and I was playing a game of telephone. Not rejection sensitivity dysphoria sets in, and you assume you're always being rejected. You're always being uninvited. I appreciate that. I really do, Ryan. Hey, Steelers Nation. I'm doing good. Kurt, thank you. So, I just, my mother was a psychopath. And she used emotion manipulation to make people feel how she wanted them to feel. That's certainly true. It's because it's the black walnuts. And it's funny because he didn't even hit the bag, but you know. He made me pick him up out of bed and put him on the floor by like, he wouldn't jump the 1 foot down. What? What? Thank you. It's part of why I'm pretty sure I have Williams syndrome. The pattern of my eye. It's a starburst pattern. And that's a common trait amongst Williams syndrome, especially if you have blue eyes. So, that was one of the clues. Williams syndrome is associated with autism, but it usually has developmental delays and certain facial features. And I have them. They're just hidden. And they weren't ever noticed because they aren't usually found in adulthood. They're usually fixed before then because that's what decent people do. But my dad died when I was 10 weeks old, and then my mom left me with my grandparents, and then she went through, what was it, like $40,000 in 2 years in cocaine and failed writing. And came back and used us as paychecks. Yes. And it is very, very me, because when I had my to God moment, that was the blue. And I am a star sapphire. So I reacted to one of the reds, so it needs touch-ups. I was going to ask Becca to do that. But for hearts long lost and full of fright, for those alone on blackest night, hear our call and join the fight. Love conquers all with violet light. one of the things that I did to splurge for myself is I subscribed to the Body Candy nose and nipple ring clubs. I I stopped the subscription because I actually was getting so many I didn't have an opportunity to wear all the ones I liked. So I started to organize things instead of just receiving them. And I couldn't wear my nose ring for a really long time because of my bulious phenogoid. Hold on, I'm gonna get some dry mouth gum because that's gonna happen. If not from the marijuana, then it was gonna be from the medications. Aww. There is a no second rule in my house. You don't eat things off the floor here. So, I know I'm currently having a fight with the floor because I had a fish water overflow or two. That's so sweet. I would love to meet her. Holy crap, me and her would get in so much fun trouble together. And fun trouble is a very specific kind of trouble. So people see these videos. Ariane Archie. Oh. I'm probably gonna restart the live because I'm gonna restart the live because, oh wait, people are coming back, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I will stop a live every single time if it means I get to see my kids. Thank you for waiting for me. It refills my heart. It is what allows my heart to overflow unconditional love. Not just have an outpouring and overflow. So I will always pause alive for the opportunity to see my children. Yeah, so I have rescue autism. I remember hearing I was designed to fall through the cracks. Like I was specially designed just to slip right on through there. Because I wasn't just autistic, I was gifted disabled. My IQ is always right on 130. Sometimes I go up a few points, down a few points, depending on how many brain teasers I had been interested in doing and what kind of puzzles I was working on and how much I made my brain work and what my stress levels were. But I'm always right around 130. And while I have defined struggles in spelling and penmanship and spatial body awareness, I have mild dyslexia, dyspraxia, and dysgraphia. Technically, I also should have dyscalculia, problems with math, but I learned how to work a multiple choice test. So, hey Brendan, oh my gosh, very nice to see you. Thank you for hopping in. Hi Leah. Or is it Leah? Leah? You see the fish behind me? Yeah. And the water looks horrible because I had to feed them pellet food. And, yeah. They are, I'm calling them Rainbow Dalmatian Mollies. I had Dalmatian Mollies, Platinum Mollies, and Black Mollies. I got like 2 of each, and then 3 of those fish like immediately just did not thrive. And then the other 3 proceeded to have 98 babies in 1 week. And then the male died. So I had I had 101 Dalmatian Platinum Mollies, and I had to put them in 98. 2 girls. I don't know how they did it. They're only supposed to have 30, like, or 15. I don't know how they did it, but and then they all survived. So I had 101 Dalmatian Mollies. Tell me that isn't funny. But they're really pretty because they've got that platinum, right? So the male was a black Molly, and then I had a light morph and a dark morph Dalmatian Molly that had these beautiful rainbow scales to them. And there was enough of the like platinum color in that one light morph that it was like, she was stunning. She is, I think she's still in there. I haven't lost any of the big girls, so she must have, she's absolutely still in there because I would notice that. We've only lost a couple. I think I've lost two fish. Although there was a small group that unfortunately did not transfer from the little tank to the big tank because I didn't realize I had a broken heater, and it was way too many degrees too hot for that transfer, and they did not thrive, and I felt like a monster. So by now there's probably closer to 75 Dalmatian Mollies, if I'm to be honest, because sometimes one slips past me and I've pulled out a completely stripped skeleton. So sometimes it happens so fast I don't know it's happened at all. So, but there have been 2 noticed passings since then. So, also, that is unfortunately the OG home of the Wu Tank clan, and I am ready to take that aquarium back. And so I'm considering a few options, but mostly I just want people to come and take some free fish. They're beautiful, but I don't need 75 of them. It's too many. Yes, thank you. But anyhow, there's also a yo-yo loach tiger style and a autocat named ODB in there, and two black loaches, Riza and Giza. And these mollies have pushed Ghostface Killer into the other tank. It's a 47 tall. Um, Otherwise, I mean, the autocat and the yo-yo loach have to be in that tank, and the black loaches are, they really like that it's a sandy bottom. I almost never see them. They're always holed up in something, or they're doing their little fun squiggles up and down the tank. You know, I see them often enough to know I still have both of them. We lost Cream. He was a green Cory cat. We lost Biggie, who was a Danio, but lost it to old age despite having a kidney problem that resulted in permanent bloat. He just went from being Blinky, when I had one named after each of the ghosts from Pac-Man, to Biggie because he had basically a constant bloat issue, and he would get penthouse salt baths. And yeah, so Biggie lived in the penthouse, but he died of old age. I also have three panda Cory cats in the other tank, along with all the bitches, which are like the glow light fish. I have some glow light tetras, a single guppy, and a single molly, I think. Yeah. But oh, and some regular tetras. But they are the ones that just outlived everybody else. They get along real well. But I have a ghost catfish in there. That is my favorite fish. Um, Thank you. In total, see, that's another 30. So in total, I have almost 80 gallons worth of tank. Because I have this one, a 20 gallon with those fish, and another 10-gallon that is for my wee beasties and plants and emergencies. So, and sometimes in the eradication of the duckweed floats, unknown baby fishes have been scooped up, and suddenly I'm looking in that tank like, why isn't it moving? So, it's 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 amazing. They really survive. I have tanks that thrive. They don't always look great, but they are happy fish. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. Truly, you are a blessing. Um, Cherry is wonderful. Oh, Chewy. Chewy is asleep. and wonderful. But he's still nippy, gets better every day. Every day he's less inflamed. He still has some spots that we're dealing with, but he fortunately is tolerant of baths. Oh, you are working today. Hello. I thought for some reason you'd be off today. I'm doing a live on my high masking autism. Yeah. So, I started to draw you, but I need to look up the Thelma and Louise costumes because I want to do us with, the little picture in the front of the book. I drew your head. You get to draw my head, but then we're going to do like that caricature small body thing of Thelma and Louise. Yeah, maybe we can even find a picture we can paste our heads onto, But yeah, I thought that'd be fun. How you feeling today?
Okay.
Okay, good. So yeah,
How are you feeling?
I am feeling not potato. My caretaker. The Thelma to my Louise. Yeah. I'm feeling quizzical, honest. Cheeky. I like that. That's a good word. Thankful, loving, inspired, which I see here. Somewhere between happy, surprised, and calm is whatever blend that is.
That sounds like a perfect mix.
Yeah. Amazement. Amazement would be good. And quiet contemplation. And feeling good. Feeling happy. And disappointed. Very disappointed and annoyed. But persecuted. Persecuted. Yeah.
Nice.
Emotion wheels are wonderful. Because I have no idea how I feel sometimes. So not only did I learn how to put on a fake smile from the very best, a psychopath. I couldn't possibly be autistic. I'm too well spoken. A spoonie? A spoonie is somebody who has chronic illness or conditions that limit their capacity to functionally work. The idea being you can't eat soup with a fork. So you don't want to run out of spoons. It's saving enough energy for yourself because we have to pick and choose our battles so much. And that's a big thing with chronic illness, and it's a big thing with autism. And it's a big thing with trauma. And autistic people are usually victims of traumatization because we tend to be gullible. some of us, not all of us. But we're not stupid. We just take people at their word because our fairy tales teach us that the bad guys lose. Why would you be a bad guy? I mean, I get it. I get the desire to be a bad guy sometimes, but why would you do it if you know you're going to lose? Because I truly believe that all the good guys won and all the bad guys lost. So I was going to be a good guy. I wanted to win. And I thought that came across. And apparently when you are high masking and say things like you genuinely say something in a way that is intended to be praise. And people see through the fake smile that isn't fake but is designed for them, through the veils, the parts of you that you hide. When they see through that, they realize it's not a real smile, and you're genuinely being honest about something. They don't believe you. So I learned to emulate facial expressions from a psychopath, narcissist, Machiavellian, sociopathic treatment. Psychopathic treatment. And that's why I call her my spawn point. Because she is simply where I came into this world and nothing more. It's a roguelike game, and it's set to impossible mode. I survived the unsurvivable because I was so gullible I was able to lie to myself until I was 41 years old. And tell myself she was my best friend. So that was one of the problems. I learned to emulate from a psychopath. I mimicked her facial expressions, her psychopathic, false, narcissistic facial expressions under a very good mask. High quality. And then I had a genuine interest in people, so I looked like a very kind person most of the time. And I spoke like a very kind person all the time. And I could mask very well. But every now and then one of those masks would slip because that veil would fall off and show part of myself that I was blurring out. I was blurring out for them. Because I know it's too much. And I wouldn't have that friend anymore. Mm-hmm. I have been called narcissistic when I literally cry in empathy over tragedies and cartoons. commercials. I cry all the time over everything because I feel things so intensely. And the other way I was designed through the cracks is in all of my low scores, in all of my testing. And by low, I'm talking third grade level when I was in my freshman year of high school. I found I can fake my way through the dyscalculia. I don't try to, it just happens. I can't, I'm a spatial thinker. I can't not see the patterns of multiple choice tests. So I get those tests right because I understand the pattern, not because I can do the math. And, it's not like I'm not going to take the right answer. It's just different math. It's imperfect math and then logical deduction. And so I do okay on the math tests. In fact, this last one, I aced it, basically. I don't know how. Well, I know how, but, But I have a way with words. I was in the third level on my spelling and my penmanship and my math skills at the time. But I was off the charts for reading comprehension and writing composition. They said it was like I was getting doctorate level type years worth of college age. Words just come to me in poetic ways. And it makes for very good writing. But it can also make complex ideas easier to understand. Because I always do have to be so precise in my descriptives of things to make sure that things aren't lost in translation. But my eyes aren't the only thing that I get from the probable Williams syndrome. We have a genuine love of people. We really like other people and we want to know everything about them. So we show genuine interest. And that makes people distrustful. Wait, you want to know all about me? Why? Are you keeping notes? Yeah. Yeah, actually I am. Mental notes. I want to know everything about you. And warning, I'll probably immediately forget it, but when you remind me, everything's photographic. I have a short-term memory in the 17th percentile. 17th. Like bottom of the barrel. I can't remember anything short-term. But my long-term memory is in the 98th percentile. Almost photographic. So I absorb all the information I can. Every detail. Immediately forget it. Have a good night's sleep. A couple of meals, And next week it will be photographic. Great for certain situations. Terrible for for keeping styluses. Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, I think I have as many likes on this video as I potentially have styluses in this house. But this is the only one I can find. The one I bought most recently, and it's not Bluetooth, but at least it's gray, so I don't use it as often. So anyway, I learned how to hide everything, but I was a genuinely nice, honest person. I genuinely wanted to know about people. But Williams syndrome also comes with an intense level of anxiety. I don't know what it is, but we don't have a phobia. We have all phobias. We don't have anxiety. We have like super anxiety. But it's usually missed because we genuinely look happy. It's called happy people syndrome, or elfin faces, because as children, we have big white toothy grins, usually high cheekbones like little cherubic Christmas elves. And as we get older, we get longer faces. That usually result in more Lord of the Rings elves. So mine was missed because I wasn't autistic. I didn't have any developmental delays. My scores were perfectly on point. When you added all of them together. Besides, she has a 130 IQ. What problems could she have? And I looked happy all the time. I was polite all the time. And I had empathy all the time. And I had severe anxiety all the time. Every single time. With a big old smile. I have near crippling anxiety. Social anxiety with agoraphobia and panic disorder, or acute anxiety with panic disorder. I also have severe treatment-resistant depression. And a lot of this it's not just trauma-related. It's neurochemical. Because I have narcolepsy as well. And it's also because I have Hashimoto's. My immune system destroyed my thyroid to nothing. I have people who have had their thyroids removed due to cancer tell me they're on less natural thyroid than I am. A score of up to 10, I think, was normal, or 9 was normal. I think up to, it's like 10 is normal, up to, until 20 is hypothyroidism, and 20 and above is Williams syndrome. And I was 143 143 or 147. I have no thyroid left to produce the hormones for the neurochemistry. And I have narcolepsy, which tells my body to release things differently. I get adrenaline just like everybody else, but I get adrenaline easier and faster, and then I don't have the hypocretin due to narcolepsy or the orexin, and I can't process adrenaline out of my blood easily. I can't filter it. It's done by hypocretin and orexin, and when you have narcolepsy, you don't really get that. And the way I describe narcolepsy is it's not what people think. It's not falling asleep randomly, although it can be. It really isn't that. It's a disruption of the sleep-wake cycle. Falling asleep randomly, sleeping for long periods of time and waking up exhausted, or insomnia with seemingly unending energy. That is all possible with narcolepsy. I'm an insomnia narcoleptic. I can go days without sleep without meaning to if I don't take my medicine. So I take my medicine every night I can. It's the only way I get deep recovery sleep. Without my medication, my brain can't recover. It can't filter out all the bad chemicals. It can't transfer things from short-term memory to long-term memory. And your body basically, you go to sleep one day and then you never fully wake up. Your body stays in sleep mode. So not only do I not have a lot of production of serotonin, norepinephrine, dopamine, histamines, I don't produce a lot of them. And what I do produce is released at the same levels that would be released when you're sleeping, which is reduced. So I am getting less than nothing of those hormones. It's also why I get inflammatory allergies, not normal allergies. It's why my blood test at the allergist said I was allergic to nothing, not even black mold. Like, that's not normal. I don't have histamines. I do have mast cell. I have mast cell activation. So when I do have a reaction and that's inflammatory, it usually is anaphylaxis. Randomly. But it's been other things. It's been, blistering, just, it's unexpected, but it's inflammatory. So yeah, you can't be autistic. You're too well spoken. Have a way with words. You can't be autistic. You're too smart. I learned how to work the system. You can't be autistic. You had a job for 30-something years. You had to go on disability because of your physical illnesses, right? No. I wish. I wish it was the physical that was the problem. Officially, it's PTSD that has me on disability. But also, my disabilities were so complicated, they couldn't get an expert on them. So my medical reasons, while many, which was in fact part of the problem, so many that the state couldn't list them all on the page. The state couldn't list them all. And all of them are associated with Williams syndrome. And I didn't know that yet because I put those pieces together very recently, about a year ago, when I was diagnosed with hyperacusis and auditory processing disorder. I can't filter out sounds. Everything's really loud and painful. And I have intermittent tinnitus. And they realized what I was saying, that I was worried about going deaf. I wasn't worried about how my hearing test was bad. I was worried about how it was too good. And I don't want to go deaf spontaneously from a loud noise, if I can prevent it. But it also is one of those things where you can potentially be having a situation involving brain cancer. So they do a full head neck CT. And that's when they found the missing right PCOM. It's part of the circulatory system to the brain. It's associated with the facial development of, it's a missing right PCOM, so for me it's the left side of my face. And I still it can be random. But you can just be born without one. And it causes developmental problems in the left side of my face. And you wouldn't think to look at me, but it's because of my proportions. I have a left sinus the size of an infant's because it didn't develop properly. I have chronic sinusitis and rhinitis, and it's because I have a baby sinus on one side. I have 20/30 vision, so I can see really well far away, and I didn't even know I had a lazy eye. Now you're looking, huh? My proportions make me look normal sized, but I'm not. And I managed to avoid some of the, oh gosh. Yeah, I managed to avoid some of the, yesterday's makeup. Now I have to wash my face. I was too smart. I was too pretty. I was too well spoken. I was missed. Because I did too well at hiding it. I hid so well, I hid it from myself. But I was, I'm like, I think they put me at a level 1. Because even when I took the testing, I didn't know how much I stimmed. I was a constant stimmer, secret stims. It didn't even dawn on me. And I have been described as being pretty lawfully good, but there's way too much chaos in me to be all lawfully good, you know? But I do lawful chaos. You can, that's a dichotomy I struggle with. So, I am genuinely a very happy person, but I'm terrified of everything. Not anything, because I actually systematically went and forced myself to face all of my phobias. I have no phobias anymore because I faced those fears directly. But I am afraid of everything. I am constantly in an anxious state. I don't get to not be in an anxious state. I have no problem producing the adrenaline for the anxious state. But I can't produce 1 iota of the chemicals needed for things like the happy emotions. I don't get dopamine rushes with my ADHD. I don't get dopamine. I don't get norepinephrine. I don't get serotonin. Because my Hashimoto's has me producing almost none, and my narcolepsy has me releasing even less. And then gave me a heart that just wants to be open. And a problem communicating with people that I really want to know. And a trauma response where you put me in a room with another 3 people, I am going to be the most perfect hostess ever. Everybody's going to have a drink in hand, a piece of cake, or something. I can work myself to an absolute dropping point of exhaustion as the best hostess in the world. But I can't enjoy a party. Get what I'm saying? I was a bartender. I was a bar manager. I can keep a party going, but I can't enjoy a party. I can't even eat other people's food most of the time. Yep. That is a blessing. I am so glad to hear that, Kurt. It was thought that I was having seizures as well, but that was, yeah. They thought I was having seizures. What I was really having was trauma-associated dissociation and cataplexy. It's something associated with narcolepsy where you feel an emotion too much, good or bad, doesn't matter what emotion it is. You can laugh. It could be sudden bad news. It can be sudden good news. It can be joy. Feel anything just a little too much, and your body says, whoa, 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 whoa. You must be dreaming if you're feeling this much. We're not going to let you move. You're asleep. You tried to trick us. We know we're asleep. We feel too much. Stop moving around. And we essentially go paralyzed. We get sleep paralysis, basically. Because we feel something too much. And then I got that double empathy problem with a heart wide open. I always feel too much. And I'm always anxious. And I don't have the chemical to get rid of the anxiety. See where I'm going here? I am like the catastrophic failure of anxiety and emotional processes. I learned how to live in fight or flight. I don't get to leave it. I have to learn to live in it. And so I can seem like I'm panicking after the event is gone and I am mentally perfectly clear. But physically, my body still has adrenaline pumping through it at the same high levels. So physically, my body is still not okay. And people don't believe me when I say I'm fine. I really am mentally. Physically, though, it doesn't look like it. Physically, I may still be shaking. I still may be unable to speak. Sometimes I get selective mutism. And my body goes paralyzed. Narcolepsy is also often associated with Parkinson's or Parkinson's-like conditions, I think. I have narcolepsy, one with cataplexy. So I get that emotional paralysis, usually in my legs, as anyone who has seen me run out of fear can attest to. Yep. So if I feel too joyful, if I feel too angry, if I feel too much of anything, if I feel too afraid or anxious, I might be hiding the fact that I can't move my arms or legs at that given moment because it's embarrassing. Or I might lose my entire body's ability to move, and I hope you can catch me. Or I could feel it coming just a little bit, like a slight electricity on the skin, a bit of a head rush, and I know to lay down. Or Chewy picks up that it's going to happen, and he will lay on my legs. Right now he knows I have anxiety about, all this sort of stuff. So he's slowly scooched over and he has his head right on my ankle now because he knows I'm anxious. But it's hard to explain it because anybody else would feel like they were dealing with a crippling level of anxiety right now. And I just learned how to live in crippling anxiety all the time because it's all I've had since I was 8. I was 8 years old when I fell asleep, and I never really fully woke up again. Because narcolepsy is a genetic condition triggered by an event. And my event was meningeal encephalitis when I was 8 years old. I was diagnosed at 41 or 40. So, I didn't sleep most of the time. But I always looked happy. Essentially, I learned how to smile through my fear. Because all I wanted to do was smile. And I wanted to do good for people. But people terrify me. But it allows me to do terrifying things. Terrifyingly wonderful. Things that are so scary. Any normal, sane person would be too afraid to even consider it. And I had to learn to consider it, because otherwise I was never going to live. Oh, also I have a partially deviated septum. And I learned how to even mask that. The ENT was shocked because she thought they didn't really look at why I was there. They assumed it was my soft palate because when they looked, they said they had never seen one in an adult before. A partially deviated septum that should have been fixed in infancy that never was. And I didn't have swallowing problems or a nasally sort of whistling voice. I didn't have the signs that I had any problem with my soft palate. I was a vocalist. inquires. Yeah, I learned how to adapt, how to move muscles differently, because otherwise I got horribly teased. I also hid some of the facial features because I have a head the size of an infant. Actually, a 3-year-old toddler. My helmet size is T3. I am just above the microcephalus scale. I have a baby head on top of a baby body on top of really long legs. So, and I'm still only 5'2". It's like I got the adult feet, the full-grown woman's legs and hips. Well, legs. Torso of a 13-year-old. Dead serious. I have to get something for like it's between 10 and 13 years old girls for it to fit my torso and my arms. Otherwise, the arms are always way too long. And I think I measured, and technically my hands are the size of a 10-year-old's, but my gloves are 6 years. It's something about the difference between medical size of hand and glove size hand. I need a 6-year-old's gloves. Although statistically I have hands the size of a 10-year-old. And the head the size of a toddler. I am wee in little itty bitty person in places, but it's proportionate in a way that nobody notices. So I'm happy. I'm cute. I'm well spoken. I'm so polite. I'm the best hostess. Yeah, I seem pretty well normal until I unmask. When I unmask, because I know I'm masking from now, that was kind of the point. I don't seem autistic when I don't mask. If I was to be 100% honest with myself, I'm a level 2. And I need help all the time. With the stupid, simple stuff. So, that's what it's like for me. And that's why sometimes I love and I hate the song Smile by Nat King Cole. So, I think I'm going to go because I've been on for almost an hour and a half and listen to that song. And I would love if you would listen to it with me. Go find it on your Spotify or your iMusic or whatever. Just, I highly recommend you listen to it from different perspectives, because it can be a beautifully joyful song, And it can also be an extremely painful song. So, I'd love it if you would go and listen to Smile. Smile by Nat King Cole. You know, I will try to put a link in the description below when I get an opportunity. So thank you. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you to everyone else. Thank you, my friends, my loved ones, my brothers, my sisters, my fathers, my mothers, my husbands, my wives, my children. I love you unconditionally and always.